All right, for this problem, we're asked to find the exact value of the inverse cosine of the cosine of 7 pi over 6. So the temptation for a problem like this is to say, well, inverse cosine and cosine, those are inverse operations. We can just cancel those out and we're left with 7 pi over 6. But remember that for most values on the unit circle, there's going to be two different angles that give you that same value. So, and we've restricted our domain for inverse trig functions. And so we need to actually work through this problem doing first what's inside the parentheses and then finding an angle that's going to give you that value inside the parentheses and that is also within our restricted domain. So first let's find the inverse cosine, or the cosine of 7 pi over 6. So let's go to our unit circle, go to 7 pi over 6. The cosine is the x value, so the cosine of 7 pi over 6 is negative square root of 3 over 2. So let's write that in here. This is equal to the inverse cosine of negative square root of 3 over 2. All right, now we need to find the inverse cosine of negative square root of 3 over 2, and it needs to be within our restricted domain for inverse cosine. So we need to find the angles where the cosine is going to give us negative square root of 3 over 2. So one is, of course, 7 pi over 6, and the other one is going to be up here at 5 pi over 6. Now remember that our restricted domain for inverse cosine is we're only looking from 0 to pi. And so we're only looking at the top half of our unit circle for inverse cosine. And so it's this angle, 5 pi over 6, that we're looking for. So the answer to this is going to be 5 pi over 6 radians.